Seriously True Crime.
It's because
And
they
this
took
is
the
the
cameras that
update
they were able to then
on
retrieve the
Nancy
footage.
Guthrie.
If they
Let's get
had
it.
just left the cameras there, because the subscription wasn't paid, it would have recorded over itself. Isn't that amazing? They do it to themselves. You know what I mean? Fur Baby said, I love you, G. Grizzly Cat mods so good. Thank you so much. Thanks for your support. All right, so you definitely can't see a backpack in this picture. I can understand that. No backpack, no gun, no holster, none of that. So that is interesting just to consider. I mean, in my mind, it's still one person, but it could be two. I wouldn't say no, definitely not. We don't know. We don't know. But they did say an individual. That's what I'm going to say. The FBI said an individual. Sure. And this, man, this with the holster and everything as well. Then what looks like nitrile gloves. There was also a ski mask found at some point too. There was some clip from, I think, Dispatch Audio that was shared somewhere. I didn't fully trust it, so I haven't really spoken much about that, but allegedly a ski mask was found somewhere near-ish to Nancy's house, right? But so far we know that 2 gloves were found. Let me actually show you. Did I show you that picture? Hold on 1 second. Screenshots and all sorts of things, hey. Okay, let's look at this one. There we go. This is one of them that they reported to find, and it does look like it could be inside out, right? And if you've ever worn these gloves, lots of people have emailed me, lots of people working in lots of different fields. If you take them off, it would be inside out. So that's interesting. It's interesting, and they are looking at it, as the Pima County Sheriff's Office said today. If you missed that and you're only joining now, I'll quickly tell you. Hold on 1 second. I'll just read that sentence to you again. They said investigators have recovered several items of evidence, including gloves. As part of the investigative process, all viable evidence is submitted for analysis. And I'm like, okay, very interesting. Okay. Chow F. Claiborne. I don't know if I said, maybe said your name all wrong. Sorry, you said woman's voice would get it to open the door. I still also think that the footage could maybe be a female. And there is a channel called Practical Linguistics that did a very interesting analysis and why they think it could be a female as well. Which, I don't know, if that would be a reason to have the holster like that and the gun like that, to be like, look, I'm a man. I don't know. It's a bit weird to have it like that, right? Unacceptable, Robin George said they think he came back or came earlier, right? That's what I'm thinking as well. That's what I'm thinking as well, especially based on the timeline that we already have. For example, remember, when they keep quoting the 41 minutes that the person spent in the house, they didn't. Where's my timeline? Oh, my word. Wait 1 second. Is it this? Nope. Stand by, everybody. I've got it. Hear this? Yeah, okay, now it's a bit big. Stop it. So remember that they would have only spent around 16 minutes in the house, perhaps? Maybe not even, because 1:47 a.m. the doorbell camera disconnects, and at 2:12 a.m. the software detects a person on camera. Okay, that's odd. And then at 2:28 a.m. So between 2:12 and 2:28 is 16 minutes from the software detecting a person on camera, which could be in the house. It could be at the back of the house. And then 16 minutes later, Pacemaker app shows disconnect from phone, right? Okay, so we have that. So, I don't know, there's still lots of, we could probably discuss this all day. Just like, oh my word. But the point of it would be, as now they're saying the backpack could be from Walmart, it could be an Ozark brand, it could be nitrile gloves. People are looking at the shoes. I mean, here it looks like the pants are, you know what I mean, like quite long over the shoes. And the reason I say that is because look at this picture right before it, this one. There's like black marks here on the shoes. You see these marks on the shoes? Those are not there on the second picture. So is it a different person? Is it the same person? Are the pants just over the shoes there? I'm not too sure. I will leave that to the FBI, but it is interesting to discuss nonetheless. Okay, now I've still got other updates for you, so just stand by. We want to quickly look at this one, which they're talking about a truck. They're apparently asking the neighbors about vehicles, particularly trucks, right? In fact, while I've got it this size, I actually made it perfect for this. Savannah Guthrie said, "Our lovely mom, we will never give up on her. Thank you for your prayers and hope and shame." She shared this footage of Nancy with, I would assume, Annie and Savannah, right? And these pictures as well with all three kids. Shame. So yeah, she said, "Our lovely mom, we'll never give up on her. Thank you for your prayers and hope." So she posted that. And then I still have this one as well that I want to show you, which is somebody actually showing that it can be quite easy to remove the Nest Cam. The reason I think it could also be a female is like, why did you fetch shrubbery and then fiddle around? I don't know. That just was so stupid, so weird. I'm not saying women are stupid. Don't get me wrong. Disclaimer. I'm saying you picked flowers, you picked shrubbery, and then you were fiddling around there. That could be to just conceal the camera while taking it off, dismounting the camera. But it is actually not that difficult to take this camera off, and if you really wanted to, you could wiggle it and pluck it off, right? Okay, so let me show you this video quickly. Hold on. Yeah, the sound is on, yeah.
All right, here we have the Nest doorbell. Going to quickly show you how to remove it. This came with it. You can use a small paper clip. There is a little thing down there. Put that in there. Boom, pops. There it goes.
There it goes.
Easy as that.
Damn. Definitely not difficult, hey? Definitely not difficult. Okay. Danielle said, "See, I think it's a woman and a man too." I mean, it could be. It could be. We don't know. Okay, now I've got other things, two more things to show you. So one was that I was going to show you this one. Shame, Gabby Petito. Says Gabby Petito's father on search for Nancy Guthrie. Shame. Okay. Hold on one second. So he was commenting on it. Tucson, Arizona. As investigators continue to piece together the timeline surrounding Nancy Guthrie's disappearance, attention has increasingly focused on a handful of vehicles connected to the home and a possible truck that detectives appear eager to identify. Authorities have requested Ring doorbell footage from neighbors for two specific windows of time. January 11th between 9 p.m. and midnight, and January 31st between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. Well, that's interesting because now they've broadened it to just be like, no, January 1st to February 2nd. That's what we want. January 1st to February 2nd. But initially they said something like this, right? So they said the January 11th timeframe is more than 3 weeks before 84-year-old Guthrie was reported missing. Interesting. In recent days, detectives have canvassed nearby homes in Tucson, Arizona's foothills, asking residents for surveillance video, inquiring about the types of vehicles they own. I did see someone asking if I can put those two pictures side by side that we just looked at earlier. I could do that after this, right?
Okay.
Okay, so in recent days, detectives have canvassed nearby homes in Tucson, Arizona's foothills, asking residents for surveillance videos and inquiring about the types of vehicles they own. Detectives have come twice and asked us for our names, who we are, and so on, and what kind of cars we drive, and if we have a truck. Neighbor David Romano told NBC News correspondent Liz Kreutz today on February 12th. Now, they said known vehicles tied to the residents. I'm glad that this article is so informative because we'd be like, wait, what vehicles do they have again, the family members? Okay, so several vehicles have been identified as being associated with the home. Nancy Guthrie was believed to drive a Subaru, possibly a Forester, and they took that, right? The vehicle was towed from her garage. Tommaso and Annie Sioni have been seen driving a blue Honda CRV, according to neighbors. Cameron Guthrie was seen driving a white Toyota Camry last week. It has not been publicly confirmed whether the Camry is registered to him. Then they said neighbors also mentioned a possible gray truck in the area, though no make, model, or license plate information has been provided. This was when Nancy's truck was towed. The repeated questions about truck ownership have raised questions about whether investigators are attempting to identify a specific vehicle seen on surveillance footage. At this point, no confirmed truck has been publicly linked to the individuals at the center of the investigation. It is unclear whether the gray truck mentioned by neighbors is connected to the case or simply a vehicle observed in the neighborhood. Authorities have not publicly commented on whether a truck is considered a vehicle of interest. Fox News Digital has reached out to the Pima County Sheriff's Office and the FBI for additional information. The Pima County Sheriff's Department and the FBI says they have received nearly 18,000 tips. Tip calls since Guthrie disappeared. The Sheriff's Department has received 4,000 calls on Wednesday alone. We went over that yesterday as well. Now, quickly, let's get to this one.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just see what you guys are saying. Oh man, the chat is flying. Juju Abimat said they need to release more info or do a presser, or people are going to lose faith in law enforcement and people's attention quickly. Could be time for a presser, right? Because people are already saying all sorts of things about law enforcement. And today, Michael Ruiz had posted something. He's a reporter, and he said, just hold on 1 second. Mike reports, New York-based investigator reporter at Fox News, and he said, investigators, okay, wait, want to speak to the guy seen on security footage miles away from Nancy Guthrie's home. Yes, he said that. And earlier he had posted that investigators are saying they don't even know who's in charge at the moment. Is it the FBI? Is it the Pima County Sheriff's Office? And I'm like, what? Don't say that. Everybody be working hard, work together, find Nancy. So, outfit clues that can unmask Nancy Guthrie's kidnappers. Suspect's distinctive backpack, gloves, and holster traced to Tucson Walmart. Really? Traced to a Tucson Walmart? Oh, there you go. There's the Walmart in this case. Grainy, fleeting, less than a minute in total. But for detectives investigating the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie from a quiet Tucson foothills home, quiet, not at the moment. It is a media frenzy at the moment. Have you seen how much media is out there? Wow, okay, especially when they show the drone footage and you're like, whoa, that's a lot of media. Okay, so anyway, the newly recovered doorbell footage is dynamite. The black and white images released by the FBI in what officials describe as the first major break in the case show a masked, armed figure on the porch of her $1 million home in the early hours of Sunday, February 1st. The individual appears to tamper with the doorbell camera, at one point holding a flashlight in their mouth while adjusting the device. It is the first time investigators and the public have seen the suspect. And law enforcement sources say every pixel is now being scrutinized as the victim's daughter, Today Show co-host Savannah Guthrie, and other family members beg for answers. The footage shows a masked individual wearing a jacket or...
So basically, you telling us in the last 48 hours, ain't nothing changed. Why am I not surprised?
Fleece with reflective detailing, a bulging backpack, gloves, holding a firearm. The chilling signs of a prepared criminal. To veteran investigators, that preparation may be the very thing that brings the suspect down. The Daily Mail spoke with retired FBI agents to break down how clothing and gear, even generic big box items, can become a trail of breadcrumbs leading straight to an arrest, as we know, right? They'll determine where that holster, that backpack, that weapon can be purchased, said Lance Lysing, an Arizona-based retired supervisory special agent with the FBI. Okay, so, damn, look at this picture. It always looked to me like, you know, the eyes look very feminine to me. It really looked like lashes and eyes, the eye shape. It just, when we saw it for the first time, I'm like, is that a woman? And then I was thinking it could look like someone with one of those, like, silicone masks. I just want to see, do I have a picture of that? Somebody sent me a video earlier of a silicone mask that you can, like, put over your face, and it just looks so real, you know what I mean? Even if that's scary. Let's not show you that one. Let's not show you that. Even if it was something like this, you know what I mean? You get some scary masks, but you can see what I'm talking about, right? There's many of them like this as well. All sorts of
some
things.
of them silicone masks do be looking real as hell.
It looks to me like they could be wearing one of those silicone masks under the ski mask. You just don't know. There's lots of weird things people can buy these days. It's actually quite scary. You see those ones that are even made of almost like stocking or like hosiery? And then it looks like Tom Cruise or something. You're like, what the heck is going on? Okay. Anyway. Did I go off on a tangent there? Sorry about that. Yeah, Stacy said definitely thick lashes and almost looks like a liner, but I think it's a male. Interesting. Okay. They're going to identify the exact make and model, figure out where it's sold, pull the video, and see who walked out with it. Here, the Daily Mail breaks down the items that could give the game away. The jacket or fleece worn by the suspect features a distinctive horizontal stripe and reflective accents.
Okay.
Under infrared light, colors distort, making it difficult to determine the original shade. But patterns remain patterns, stitching remains stitching. Doesn't this remind you guys so much of the Rachel Morin case? When they were trying to look for that suspect? Oh my goodness. So we were looking at everything, that little bit of doorbell footage that we had. And they did eventually find him in a different state though, right? But remember that case, Rachel Morin's case? So it says investigators are understood to be comparing the garment to commercially available windbreakers and fleeces, including models produced by athletic brands such as 2XU and outdoor labels like.
Y'all sitting there trying to identify this dude through his clothing. It's that respectfully to the police, to the FBI. Can y'all say anything about DNA besides hers? If not, give us something that can be used. Y'all sitting there telling us, oh, this person was wearing this, that, and the third. Is he the only person in the area that wears that type of clothing? Yes or no? Yes or no? Is he the only person with that type of clothing? Let's continue.
XU and outdoor labels like Prana. Even small design cues, seam placement, reflective piping width, zipper configuration can narrow the field dramatically. So they're showing an example here, right? The distinctive horizontal stripe on the suspect's windbreaker looks strikingly similar to this widely sold 2XU sportswear item. Now, hold on. I know you want me to get a picture. Just stand by, everybody. I will fetch. Let's get this one. Okay, so we could see. Right? It could be like that. We're not saying it exactly is that brand, but it very much could be. And the FBI will be on it. Kelly, thank you so much. You said thank you for everything you do for us. Love all your snark. You always keep it real. Much love from Canada. Thank you so much. Okay, I want to see one thing. 1 second. No. Okay. So, I mean, I think that stripe, that horizontal stripe, is a bit of a giveaway. It could definitely say, oh, well, they're gonna figure out where that's from. Okay. Mary said, no, there's a star on his jacket just below his left chin. A star on his jacket just below his left chin. Is that so? Well, feel free to please also leave some comments below afterwards, right? Because I can read all your comments here. All right, so we have that. We have that. Now let's take this picture off. So here they say, okay, that could look like that. Uncle Mike's carry with confidence. Experts say the holster may have been this Uncle Mike's product, again sold at a Tucson Walmart. Can you imagine if this person did all their shopping at Walmart? Oh my goodness, wow. Okay. Here's a backpack, which it could be a backpack like this. Ozark Trail. It says the Daily Mail found this 25-liter Ozark backpack in a Walmart just miles from Nancy Guthrie's home. So I'm using this Daily Mail article because it's got the most information and pictures, but if you just type in Nancy Guthrie suspect backpack, you'll find hundreds of articles and where they're quoting that law enforcement sources are saying, it's Ozark Trail and whatever. So I don't know what exact brand it is. I'm not going to go that far, but it could be this. And the point of sharing this is, yeah, the FBI will be working very hard on this and going to track down all the sales of the items that they then identify to then, can you imagine that work as well? Narrow down. Who was it? Like, what do they look like? What job do they do? I don't know, everything to find more persons of interest to talk to. So they said the backpack may prove even more revealing. The suspect is seen carrying a full bulging bag with a distinctive seam down the rear pocket and reflective stripes on the straps. Analysts say it resembles widely sold 25-liter backpacks made by brands such as Outdoor Products and Ozark, both available at Walmart and other Tucson area retailers. Retired FBI negotiator and former chief of the Bureau's Behavioral Science Unit, Greg Vecchi, said detectives won't just identify the brand, they'll look at how the bag is packed and worn. He noted it appeared chock full, I like that expression, chock full, potentially containing tools, restraints, chemicals, or additional weapons. The way the pack sits on the suspect's back, the weight distribution, the way the straps are adjusted, all of it becomes behavioral evidence. Then there's a ski mask, a 3-hole woolen mask, gray or tan under infrared light, worn low over the face. Commentators have observed that the ill-fitting design reveals the shape of the suspect's head and possibly the outline of facial hair beneath the chin. Similar masks are manufactured by companies such as Rothco and Top Headwear and are widely sold online and in stores. The holster has sparked particular discussion among firearm enthusiasts. So there's an example of one. Sabina said, always check, is it Sabina or Sabina? How do I say it, Brian? Thank you so much for your sticker. You said, always check Walmart. Criminals seem to like it. Sorry, Walmart, but it's true. Here and there, we get a Brian Walsh that goes to like Home Depot
Yep.
and be like, what are you doing? You don't go to Walmart at all? Do you remember Brian Walsh? We watched the trial together. Yeah, that guy went everywhere, but not Walmart. Strange, hey? The three-hole woolen ski mask worn by the suspect strongly resembles this Rothco item, and others sold for a few dollars online. The nylon pistol holder appears to dangle awkwardly at the front of the suspect's body. Yeah, like the front middle. So odd, right? Okay, and so they said experts are debating whether it's a strap-mounted model, such as those sold by Uncle Mike's, or a friction-based a design similar to sticky holsters that adhere to clothing. Oh my goodness. Mayor said, thanks, G, for your coverage. LA, is that so? Los Angeles, hey, appreciates you. Thank you so much. So it says, the gloves are another, wait, no experienced firearms user would carry a weapon that way. Right? Why would they? Would they do it on purpose to throw people off or what? Why would they do that? Why would they carry it the way they were carrying it? It was so weird. The gloves are another focal point. At first glance, they resemble thin medical gloves, but when the suspect adjusts the camera, they appear thicker, puffing slightly, more akin to nitrile dipping safety gloves commonly sold at hardware retailers. The gloves were clearly worn to avoid leaving fingerprints. A black latex glove discovered on a road, well, apparently it was a set of gloves, on a roadside about 1.5 miles from the crime scene on Wednesday could be another major break in the case, said Becci. If it were worn by the suspect, it could yield DNA or direct detectives to a manufacturer, a store, or even a buyer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So nitrile gloves, I mean, this is nitrile coated gloves.
Them are the
It's
work
quite
gloves that I usually use
Brian
all the
Enton was
time.
showing a whole box of
Hey, 18.
nitrile gloves that I don't know where he purchased it, but he was just showing what they look like, right? So too many observers. When I put the emphasis on the wrong word, it comes out different. When I'm like, too many observers. sorry. Was that a slip? There's too many. Okay, so much media out there. It's unbelievable. Let's read that sentence again. Thank you, Dana, for your sticker. To many observers, the entire outfit appears newly purchased, generic, budget, cobbled together from big box or online retailers in an effort to avoid standing out. The Daily Mail found several of these items in a Walmart just miles from Guthrie's home. Becci said that it's consistent with offenders attempting stealth. They avoid wearing their own clothes. They buy disposable items. They assume anonymity lies in being ordinary, but ordinary leaves a paper trail. No matter what it was, it's going to generate some sort of retail transaction, digital transaction, and distribution trail. Well, unless they bought it with cash, but we know from other trials as well. Again, let's bring up Brian Walsh or even Chandler Halderson. Wow, both dismembers, those two. But they bought things with cash, but then the surveillance could track them. You know, they knew they were there. So, hope and fear. Thank you so much. Oh, yeah, it's hope. Am I saying it right now? Hope and fear. Thank you. You said, don't forget to hit that like. Thank you so much for being a member for 37 months. Nice to see you in chat. Okay, so that is where the real grind begins. According to licensing, agents will first work to identify the precise make and model of every visible item: backpack, gloves, holster, jacket, weapon attachment. Even seemingly bland products can often be narrowed down through stitching patterns, strap geometry, zipper pulls, and the way the fabric drapes on a body. Somebody knows that strap, somebody knows that holster. Once identified, investigators trace where those products are sold. They start with major national retailers, then regional outlets, then online marketplaces. They examine shipment records and distribution chains. Now, Mary, I think you said a star. Is this what you're referring to here? Is it a star or is it part of... I don't know. Let's see. Because there's also this here. So that's not part of the jacket. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Tell me what you guys think.
The grammar of the flowers is weird.
This whole thing with the shrubbery, really? Look at the eyes.
Yeah, and that's just
Look at the
weird.
eyes. Who the heck are you? They're coming for you.
Got some butchy ass
Mind
eyebrows.
you,
That's for
right?
damn sure.
Candy says Walmart. They said, yes,
Eyebrows
yes.
butchy as hell.
And it's called a ski mask to most Americans, right? But for us outside of America, we call it a balaclava. Did you know that baklava is a Greek dessert? So don't call it baklava. It's a balaclava or a ski mask. We're going to just call it a ski mask. They review online orders, store transactions, cash purchases, Amazon locker pickups. I feel like I'm preaching to the choir. You guys know this, right? They're going to do all of this. If a purchase is tied to a specific store location, agents pull surveillance footage from inside and outside the building. They look for the buyer. They track the vehicle. They follow the license plate. This is not cinematic hacking, added licensing. It is systematic police work involving product tracing, video reviews, and public tips, which could take a long time as well, right? 99% of the time, a public tip will break this case, which is why it's important to continue to share the critical information, right? Yeah, Stefan said, a baklava, balaclava, that one. Walmart did not answer our request. Listen, Walmart, don't be rude now. Walmart did not answer our request for comment, but such retail giants have track records of helping the FBI put killers behind bars. We know. Walmart has an excellent track record of that. The videos, less than a combined minute, do not show what happened inside the home. They do not reveal whether Nancy Guthrie is alive, but they do provide something investigators lacked for days, a visible suspect. Okay, so we've been through everything else here, right? Okay, so we've got that. I think, sure, that was a lot. Those were a lot of updates, actually. Hold on, I've got my little checklist here. Let's see if we went over everything. Okay, so we went over the Nest Cam. I did tell you I'd show pictures side by side, right? We can still do that quickly. Nest Cam footage, and that it records over itself, potentially every 3 hours. Even if the subscription is not paid, it'll record over itself every 3 hours. And so if the person just left the cameras there, wow, then they would never have had the footage to recover. Thank goodness they then decided to take them. There was also rumor, you know, when they were searching a few days ago all around Nancy's house, like in the cacti at the back there, they were apparently looking for the cameras as well, because they thought maybe someone had thrown the cameras out of the vehicle as they drove off or something like that. So that was rumored on social media, right? I wrote here 2 times weirdos on camera. We looked at the 2 times weirdos on camera that the FBI wants more information about. It could be a Walmart bag, Savannah's new post on Instagram, the flyer shared by the White House that says, shame, it says the recovery of Nancy. I wish they said rescue and recovery.
If the doctor said the word
point. Or do they know
excuse
more? I
me?
don't know. We also went over the media briefing, the media update from the Pima County Sheriff's Office today, that the tent went up, a forensic team was deployed, and why did I not tell you this? Because I don't know. Apparently, TMZ received a follow-up from the ransom note or ransom email message or whatever. The ransom message they got yesterday or the day before, where the person said they want 1 Bitcoin. Now they've done a follow-up and said, well, I'm not being taken seriously. I want 1 Bitcoin and I'll tell you who's got Nancy. So the account hasn't shown any activity. The person is making demands still like that. I don't know if that is a scammer or not, but I would think so. But you just never know. So the FBI is handling everything to do with the ransom messages, right? Okay. I wanted to show you the side-by-sides as you requested, so hold on 1 second. Here's one, meaning without the backpack and with the backpack. Hold on, let's find this one as well. Where's the one? This one. This one is so scary. This one. This picture, I mean, they're all creepy, but this picture is so creepy. Wow. Shame. Poor Nancy. Been taken from her home that she's lived in for 50 years. Like in the middle of the night, early morning hours. Okay, so there we go. That's what we have is the side-by-side that you guys wanted. I would assume to look at the build of the person or to see could it be the same person. I'm going to do this. Right? What do you think? So have a look. Comment below as well after the live stream. To me, I mean, it's just somebody, I would almost think that this could be somebody that was there at another time, because they didn't give us timestamps for this. Maybe earlier in the night. Maybe, I don't know. I would lean more towards that than it being 2 people, but you just don't know. Right? It's like spot the difference. I used to like those when I was young. You know those books you get that spot the difference. Spot the difference, everyone. Well, yeah, we can't see the eyes in this one much. There's just, if you zoom in a lot, look there. You can't see that from the low light. There's no backpack, there's no holster, there's no gun in this one. The shoes have got a little black stripe there. And there's these lights in the background, which some people are saying are like tail lights and things, but apparently it's a house somewhere down the road there, in the distance. Wow, okay, you guys are voting now. Okay, so wait, some people say same guy, 2 people. True Crime Meltdown says left is skinnier, different shoes. Okay. Interesting. Same. You guys are saying same. I know we could do a poll, but let's not do that now. Tell me in the comment section what you think. Have a good look and tell me what you think afterwards, right? Caroline said the door cam person looked like they were wearing extra clothes to look bigger. I mean, it could be that. Or maybe they had a little getaway outfit under there. You know? I don't know. Interesting. And then they'd also be looking, I would assume, in landfills for even evidence like this that the person could have thrown away, right? Okay. Kelly Girl at the Beach says January 11th. I assume you're referring to what we read earlier, so I think you're behind in the stream. Yeah, they were initially looking for that. But now, the important thing is they're looking for ring cam, dash cam surveillance footage from January 1st of 2026 all the way to February 2nd and within a 2-mile radius from Nancy's house. So if you live in the area, I mean, you know where she lives because, don't worry, if you don't know, you're gonna know because all the media, they're there. They're there at all times. It's quite something. Okay, so I really appreciate you all being here. I think that's it. Do you want to do should we do one last check quickly just to see if there's anything new? Hold on, we could have gone just now. You know how it goes. When I say bye and then something else happens and I'm like, damn it, wish I had time to share that. Okay. I always just go to look at what Michael Ruiz is sharing because he does such a great job of just summarizing everything that we can see, right? Gigi, thank you so much for being a member for 14 months. Michael Ruiz there says, if you have home security video showing anything suspicious in the Catalina Foothills area, I'd love to see it. Okay. Detectives would love to see that. Investigators want to speak with the guy seen on security footage miles from Nancy Guthrie's home. Look, breaking. The FBI and sheriff seeking to question man with backpack captured on video just miles from Nancy Guthrie's home on the night she vanished. We looked at that, right? The guy with the 2 backpacks as well. Yeah, so this is what I was shared with you as well. With the White House, FBI is offering up to $50K. So there's nothing else here right now. Okay, so that's what we've gone over everything we can for now. I will keep you posted. Remember to check out my YouTube shorts as well, because sometimes I update you there quite often actually when there's just like now after this live stream, if something else happens, then I can update you there very easily. Also check my community posts. And now what we're going to do is teleport to tomorrow's live stream, which is actually something that many of us have been waiting for, the sentencing of the au pair that, you know, she's being sentenced for her role in the double homicide that occurred.
Okay, and that's the end of that. Let's go to this here. To this right here. Give me a second, y'all. Give me a second.
And we need your help. And finally, a potential break in the search for Nancy Guthrie. A black glove is found near her home in Arizona. The FBI says it's a lead, but can it lead them to Nancy? This is Scandal, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Sierra Gillespie. The search continues for 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie, mother of Today Show co-host Savannah Guthrie. And we're in an hour of desperation. It's a race against the clock. Nancy needs her medication to survive, and she's been without it for nearly 2 weeks at this point. But there have been developments in the search, including the discovery of a black glove near Nancy's home and the crime scene where she was abducted.
We believe Nancy is still out there.
If you're interested in cases like this one, we're talking top true crime news, body cams, interrogations, and even deep dives into some of the most scandalous of cases, then make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so that you don't miss anything. Now, on to the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. And let's begin today with the newest information. A black glove was found about 1.5 miles from Nancy Guthrie's home. For years, she's lived in $1 million home in the Catalina Foothills area of Tucson, Arizona. That's where she was last seen on January 31st. And it's also the the scene of the crime. I mean, we've reported this. There was blood found at the scene, later determined to be Nancy's. And of course, there's that infamous Nest camera video that was recorded there too, which we'll take another look at in just a minute. But now, let's talk the glove. Now, I've seen this both ways.
Okay, let's
the New
see what
York
we
Post
got.
reports that it was one glove. Fox News Digital reports there was a pair of gloves, but can't confirm if they're the same color, size, etc. So let's settle on this. At least one glove.
And here's another thing that's been pissing me off too, is that you got all these people want to tell us all these different things. If y'all gonna tell us something, why ain't y'all telling us the same thing?
Area. This new clue is now being tested for DNA evidence, which could lead us to a possible suspect. And the next question here is, could this possibly be the glove worn by the person captured on Nancy Guthrie's doorbell camera video? And I'll play this video for you again. In a word, it's chilling. The recording begins with the person already at Nancy's door. They're wearing a backpack, they've got gloves, a mask, pants, and what appears to be a long sleeve zip up, and above all of this, they are armed with a gun and a holster. Just seconds into the video, the person lurks closer to the camera, and to me, it seems like this person knew the camera was there because they walked just straight forward toward it. This masked person is now right in front of the camera lens. And if it wasn't apparent they were wearing gloves before, you can now clearly see that they are, because all you see is a gloved hand in front of the lens for more than 10 seconds. It almost looks like they're trying to put the glove over the lens. Then suddenly, this person turns away, backs up, walks away, but before they leave, they seem to grab something up off the ground, looks like plant, before turning back to the camera and maybe trying to put that over the lens. And that right there is where the video ends. This video was taken between 1:47 a.m. and 2:12 a.m. on Sunday, February 1st, and that's around the exact same time that Nancy went missing. And that makes it all the more disturbing. But there's a few things to glean from this video too. One, it doesn't appear that this person is stressed. I mean, they're not shaking, they're not visibly anxious. They do try to cover the lens, and when that doesn't work, they just grab a plant to put in front of the lens to distort it. So again, they're calm, but maybe not a criminal mastermind. And that leads me to point 2. And we're going to talk about this more during the interview, but you can see in the video, they're wearing a cheap, mismatched holster, which experts have noted this is a cheap item. I mean, you could literally buy this off the shelves, the holster itself. Now, the weapon appears to be a semi-automatic pistol, but here's what's really important that we learned from gun experts. This holster is designed for a large frame revolver. It's not designed for the gun that it's holding. So is this guy just an amateur? And there are a few theories here we could lay out of who this person is or who the suspect is in this case. To start, there's the theory that this was a targeted attack on Nancy Guthrie because she is the mother of Today Show co-host Savannah Guthrie. And I mean, Savannah Guthrie is a huge name. She was supposed to be at the Olympics right now, hosting on an international stage. She's literally a household name. So people likely know she's got a hefty bank account. Could the person or persons responsible have targeted Nancy Guthrie because of her connection to Savannah's money? Then there's another idea, that this person could have been familiar with Nancy's home. Investigators have questioned gardeners, pool maintenance, workers, cleaners, all because they were close to Nancy's home and likely knew it and the layout well. And remember, Nancy's home is the scene of the crime.
Many possibilities.
There's the idea that a family member could be behind Nancy Guthrie's disappearance. And this is common in almost all investigations. I mean, officials have to start right away by looking at those closest to the victim. But in this case, Nancy Guthrie's son-in-law was brought to the forefront almost right away.
Yep.
Reporter Ashley Banfield named him. Now, she said he was a, quote, prime suspect. To be fair, he was one of the last people to see Nancy before she disappeared. Nancy was dropped off at her home around 9:30 to 9:50 on January 31st, dropped off by her daughter Annie and Annie's husband, Nancy's son-in-law. Now, this news that the son-in-law was allegedly involved spread like wildfire, but investigators in Arizona were quick to shut it down.
Nobody's eliminated, but we just really don't have enough to say, this is our suspect, this is our guy, we know, or our gal. We just don't know that. And it's really kind of reckless.
Oh, if
to
that's the
report
case,
that
who's your guy?
someone is a suspect when they could very well be a victim. It just, I bring to you, to the media, I plead with you to be careful of what it is we put out there, because we don't have anybody here listed as a suspect, and you could actually be doing some damage to the case, but you can do some damage to that individual too. This is social media is kind of an ugly world sometimes. We're actively looking at everybody we come across in this case. Everybody. We would be irresponsible if we didn't talk to everybody. The Uber driver, the gardener, the pool person, whoever. Everybody is so cliche, but everybody's still a suspect in our eyes. That's just how we look at things and think as cops. Does that mean we have a prime suspect? No, and the family's been very cooperative. They've done everything we've asked of them, and we want that relationship to continue.
So while no one is really ruled out just yet, officials have not publicly identified Nancy Guthrie's son-in-law as a suspect or even a person of interest. They did, however, take someone into custody in relation to the investigation, and this was big news. But as it turned out, it was a dead end, or at least it appears to be that way right now. Now, this is another theory that some people have regarding Nancy's disappearance, that perhaps somehow someone from Mexico is involved, maybe even the Mexican cartel, and there are a couple of reasons for this. One is the fact that Bitcoin was allegedly referenced in the ransom notes that were sent to local TV stations and TMZ. But two, because of Tucson's proximity to the Mexican border. It's only a short drive away. And near the border, too, is Rio Rico, Arizona. It's about 60 miles south of Tucson. And that's where investigators took a delivery driver into custody this week. His name is Carlos Palazuelos, and he's spoken about what happened in interviews like these ones.
I was the one that was pulled over at the traffic stop. I was being detained.
Detained, okay.
I was detained the whole time.
Okay,
That's
where?
what they told me.
Hey, what did they say? Like, what did they say?
Nothing. Literally nothing. They just told me, stop moving. Like, what's your name? Carlos? That's it. He put me in the car park.
What were you thinking?
Like, what the am I doing here? I didn't do anything. To be honest, like, I'm innocent.
Carlos was questioned and released, and according to him, he knew nothing about Nancy's disappearance.
Do you know who Nancy Guthrie
No.
is?
That's the problem. No, I don't know anything.
Do you know who Savannah Guthrie is?
No. I don't follow the news.
Right.
When they finally told you this was had to do with some kidnapping, like what were you thinking?
What the am I doing here? I didn't do anything. To be honest, like, I'm innocent.
But someone out there knows something, and as we've said, there have been multiple reports of ransom notes. But interestingly, the deadlines given for these notes have already passed. This soundbite is from a press conference on Thursday, February 5th. It was indicating one of the deadlines was 5 p.m. that day.
So the ransom note that was distributed to the media did make a demand for 5 p.m. today, and if a transfer wasn't made, then I think a second demand was for next Monday. We're not going to go beyond that, but that was the ransom note the media received.
Did it indicate what would happen if they didn't need that ransom?
We're not going to go into those specifics. Thank you.
That's kind of a lie because FBI investigators did go into specifics about what the notes included, and it's interesting.
The ransom itself, one talked about an Apple Watch, and one talked about a floodlight. We're not going to go into specifics. It's very important that we keep this investigation moving forward, and we don't want to put more facts out there that others then can use to try to profit from this.
Savannah Guthrie and her siblings have come forward, posting on Instagram to Savannah's more than 1 million followers, pleading for help.
We too have heard the reports about a ransom letter in the media. As a family, we are doing everything that we can. We are ready to talk. However, we live in a world where voices and images are easily manipulated. We need to know, without a doubt, that she is alive and that you have her. We want to hear from you, and we are ready to listen. please reach out to us.
So the Guthrie kids say they will comply with these alleged ransom requests, but so far, we the public haven't heard much about this line of communication or whether any money has even exchanged hands. And that's where we are right now at the time of this recording. It's kind of a weird juxtaposition. I mean, we
Okay.
know a lot, but we also know so little. And with it comes so many questions that I know I have. So let's bring on today's guest. It's private criminal defense investigator Billy Lane. Billy, great to have you on Scandal with us today. And let's start with this newest info we have that a black glove was found about a mile and a half from Nancy Guthrie's home. What can we glean from this new information?
Thanks for having us on, as always. It's hard to tell at this point. I think that the FBI and law enforcement is doing due diligence. They're going out there, they're searching, they're getting boots on the ground, and they're trying to see and log everything they can find. This could be very significant. Maybe the person made a mistake. Maybe he got lazy or lackadaisical and threw this glove out the window. Maybe he tried to dispose of this, but you cannot consider this not part of this investigation. You have to go in there and you have to act like this is a very important part, and it may be. We don't know what we don't know. So everything out there at this point, I would say absolutely process it until you run it to ground and realize that either it is or it is not.
And we did see that very famous Nest camera video from outside of Nancy Guthrie's home, taken the night, early morning hours when she vanished. Now, that person was wearing gloves in the video. And I'm wondering, do you think investigators are matching this up? I mean, taking a closer look at the video, looking at what the style of the glove is, if it's the same. I mean, is it possible they already know?
Possible. There's a lot. I think it's at play here. I think they're trying to move through this. They know this way before we knew this. So I'm pretty sure that they've already been working on this before they released this video to the public. They more likely already started to put together timelines and potentially places where these items might have been purchased from. I know that's very important, and unfortunately now we have the internet and Amazon and other places to purchase things that could be at our house in a day or two. So it makes things a little bit more difficult. But yes, I 100% believe that they are looking at everything: the backpack, the person, the gloves, the gun, the holster. So there's a lot to sort of break down when you start looking at that, and you're having people with different levels of experience come in there that the FBI has to look at this and evaluate that. So yes, it's certainly this video, I think, is going to be tremendous in the ability to bring this case to a close.
And as far as the glove, I have seen some reports that they're hoping to take DNA off of it, run it, test it. Maybe if it's someone who is already in the system, we can say, okay, yes, it's this person, or rule out this person. Was Nancy's DNA on it? I mean, so much is happening right now. And again, we're in a race against the clock. Now, you talked a lot about that video, and I think that's what is on everyone's mind, right? Because we now finally have an image of someone who is likely involved in this. And you mentioned the holster. The gun in the holster is really getting a lot of attention. It seems peculiar to me at the very least. What do you make of it? Do you think, looking at this video, this is a top-notch, well-versed criminal who had their act together, or is it someone who seemingly kind of threw this together? What are your thoughts?
So as a former law enforcement officer, I'll tell you that it does not appear that the gun and the holster go together. Most people who own firearms buy holsters specifically for their gun. It fits it properly. It just looks like there was a holster and there was a gun and he made them fit together. Certainly does not seem like he has any type of training in the gun, how to carry the gun, maybe even how to use the gun. We're not even sure if the gun's real. It could have been just for visual effects when he walked through the door to prevent anybody from challenging him. So there's that. Everything and every way he carries himself is going to be just analyzed 100 times over, 1,000,000 times over. Now everybody's on the internet analyzing everything he's doing. People are trying to use AI to recreate things that we don't know about. So I would tell you that based on what I'm seeing, in my opinion, this person is not a very experienced person who would normally carry a gun. Let's put it that way.
That's kind of what I was thinking too in all of this. To me, it looks like someone who maybe hasn't done this before, doesn't have a lot of experience. And to be fair, I hope no one has any sort of experience in abductions or ransom notes or anything involving this. But we do see in other cases, there are levels of people who do this. I mean, we talk about the cartel or somebody who's highly involved in things like this. And then now you look at the video, the Nest camera video, and it doesn't seem like this person maybe has experience in this realm. And that kind of leads into my next question in all of this. Do investigators have more info than they're telling us about what was inside the crime scene? I know that we have blood that was diagnosed to be Nancy's outside, but as far as what happened inside, I mean, could that provide us any clues whether this person is highly skilled and has done this before, or whether they're kind of bumbling through the home?
Absolutely. You're never going to show all your cards, and there's multiple reasons for that. Number one, if you do find a suspect, and if they do admit to certain things that only the suspect would know, if you release that information, everybody's going to know it. It's going to be a defense. So these are things in an investigation you want to keep very private. And the fact that you may be running up on a lead, you may be using something inside that home that you found as a lead. And if the suspect knows about this, it could potentially jeopardize the possibility of apprehension. They realize that you're closer than what they really think you are. They may try to flee and flee the country possibly. But to go back to the holster, another scenario to think about as well is that as an assailant, if I'm going into a home, that holster is not secured based on the gun and the holster. The gun's not secured in the holster. So if there is a struggle, knowing in law enforcement, we want to keep our gun secure. So think about it. He's not prepared. The gun's not secure in the holster. Any struggle could have caused the gun to dislodge.
Exactly.
Somebody could have grabbed the gun and disarmed him if they know what they're doing. So did he know that he was dealing with an 84-year-old lady? Or was he anticipating possibly some other scenario that was going on in the home? So those are small little facts that unless you deal with guns and holsters and you carry them all the time, you might not realize that that's an amateur rookie mistake. It's a mistake where he could have that gun taken from him. And there should have been some type of security in place for the weapon and maybe even conceal the weapon. So why is it in front? Why is that the first thing you're going to see when you enter into somebody else's home?
And that kind of gets me wondering about what you were saying earlier. Is this even a real weapon? Because I know if somebody pulled a gun out in front of me, it could be a water gun that was shaped and painted to look like a real gun. I would be like, okay, he's got a gun. Like, okay, great. Like, it could be just used in a way to scare Nancy that he has this, again, it could be a water gun, it could be fake, it could be a child's toy, whatever it may be. And it could just be used in that way to scare her. It wasn't intended to actually go off, but it kind of, the things you were saying were kind of getting my brain going, because a lot of people are wondering, was Nancy Guthrie targeted because her daughter is Savannah Guthrie? I mean, she's the face of the Today Show. She was supposed to be at the Olympics. Everyone knows her. She likely lives in Manhattan. That's pretty pricey. She probably has a pretty big bank account. So was Nancy Guthrie targeted because it was her Savannah Guthrie's her daughter? We could pay. We have a ransom, which we can talk about in a minute. Or is it possible that this was just some person who thought, okay, this is a really nice neighborhood in Tucson, Arizona. This person probably has a lot of money. I'm just going to go after them. And then it turns out, oh, wait, it's the mother of Savannah Guthrie. I mean, which way are you leaning toward, that it was targeted in relation to Savannah, or that this was almost a more random attack?
It seems too random. I would tell you in most kidnappings, if that truly is what this is, in most kidnappings, there is a connection between the kidnapper and the individual they kidnap. Some form, there's some connection there. And I would say that's a large majority of true kidnapping cases. Now, this may not be a kidnapping. This may be another scenario that individuals on the internet is trying to take advantage of. They're trying to glean money out of the family. And as our nonprofit, we are the Essentials, when we go out and search for missing people, the families that we deal with actually have this happen to them. Their loved one's been missing for a week or two, and people will approach them trying to get money out of them for information that would lead them to believe they know where the loved one is. And of course, it's totally fabricated. There's no support behind this whatsoever. But when you are a desperate family in need of answers, you're willing to do almost anything to get your loved one home.
I mean, I can't even imagine putting myself in the shoes of Savannah Guthrie, her siblings. And to your point, we have seen somebody who was arrested for making a false ransom note claim and is being prosecuted because of this. Like you said, people are terrible. I mean, we do have good people out in the world, thankfully, but some of them are terrible and are preying on others who are going through the worst of the worst. So these ransom notes, I mean, how do we even tell if they're real?
And that's another thing. That's going to impede law enforcement's investigation. Are we going to have to now deal with running down these ransom notes? Are they real? Are they not? And doing computer forensics back in law enforcement, there's a method to do this, but now there are certain services in place, VPNs and other things that make hiding your IP address easier than it used to be. Used to, it was a note. Used to, somebody would drop off a note. Used to, you drop money at a location where somebody had physically come pick that cash up. Now, that's not the scenario anymore. We have Bitcoin, we have emails, we have text messages, we have voice over IPs, we have cloned phones, we have a lot of things that we have. Those are walls as investigators we have to break down. And we have to get on the other side of that wall to figure out who are we dealing with. It isn't even anything related to this. Like I said, there's a lot of unscrupulous people in the world who just want to make money off of a bad situation. And when there are emotions like they are in this case here, it's unfortunate. But yes, so I think we're going to see a lot more of these types of scandalous scenarios. Even the other day, I know that there was a report from TMZ that says they just wanted money to tell them who is the kidnapper. And that makes no sense. I mean, just be a good citizen, be a good person, and help us bring this to a close.
And that one was so interesting because this person who wrote the ransom note to TMZ said, I will give you the name of the individual involved if you give me one Bitcoin, $66,000. Well, interestingly, the FBI has put out a reward for $50,000. I mean, that's pretty close. So if you knew, contact the FBI and get your reward that way. I mean, that to me, I mean, I'm sitting in my armchair back here. I'm not a detective, but that was just one of my thoughts that it's so low to see people who are preying on the Guthries, who are going through probably the worst moments of their lives. And I guess that leads into my next question for you. If this is your case, I mean, it's the 12th today, almost 2 weeks into this, that Nancy has been missing. We know she has a pacemaker. We know she's 84. She struggles to be very mobile. She needs her medicine. I mean, where would you go at this point in the investigation? I mean, we're pretty far in and we need to find her. The clock is ticking. So what do we do?
So I would tell you it depends on where I'm at. Am I taking on the role of a law enforcement officer, working with the family, or am I taking on the role of a search and recovery investigator through our nonprofit, potentially working with the family? All roads lead back to the last place we know she was at, and whether that be the daughter's and the son-in-law's home, or that be her home. The last place we know she's at is where we start at, and we work our way out from there. Within a 5 mile radius, within a half a mile radius, there's no stone left unturned. And then we work our way out to a 2 mile radius on foot and potentially a 5 mile radius in a vehicle. And for us, it's boots on the ground. And I'm highly disappointed that law enforcement had stopped the search and rescue, search and recovery searches for her right after she went missing.
Yeah, why?
That's what we specialize in, and I will tell you, if we had the resources, we would be boots on the ground trying to help find her, because that's what it takes. Sometimes law enforcement would like people to provide a tip that's going to lead them to solving this case, but there's other times that we've proved it with our method and our abilities to go out here and do things for these families. Sometimes you just need to be boots on the ground, diligently searching and eliminating areas of possibility and figuring out not only where she may be, but where she is not. And for us, it's not really about the who or the when or the why. It's about the where. Where is she at? Where could she be? And we focus on that alone. We don't go down the rabbit holes, because no matter what, it's about the where. Where could she be? How far could she have gotten? How could they have taken her out of there? Is she still with us alive? And if not, then where would she be at? What would they have done with her? Where would they have taken her? And if there is a person that's a suspect in this case, are they connected with a location that we could go to, that they may have taken her to, that they're familiar with, and felt comfortable leaving her there and getting out of there without being detected?
I mean, when you're going through and talking about all of this, there's so much to consider. And I think that's what makes this so difficult, because there's so many places she could be. There's so many people, and there's so many trails that you need to follow down. And you mentioned tips. I know thousands have poured in here, and it's so much to sift through that. And also, like you said, the boots on the ground. Thankfully, we recently found this glove, but will that have the DNA? Will that person be in the system? Will it lead us to Nancy? And that's the question all of us are asking. I mean, the clock is ticking. So I do appreciate you, Billy Lane, for coming on with us today and breaking down the investigation into her disappearance.
Absolutely. Thank you for always having us here. You're very gracious to us.
If you have any information about the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie, please come forward. You can reach the Pima County Sheriff's Office at 88 Crime. That's 520-882-7463. And to submit a national tip to the FBI, you can dial 1-800-CALL-FBI or 1-800-225-5324. And keep in mind, there's also a $50,000 reward put forward by the FBI for any information leading to the recovery of Nancy Guthrie. And we're hoping that this happens soon. This is a story that we're going to continue to follow here. Check back with Scandal for the latest developments in this case. And if you have any ideas for a different Scandal episode, feel free to send them our way. Our tip line is scandal@lawandcrime.com. And if you want to connect with me personally on social media like Instagram, you can find me at Sierra Gillespie. Thanks for watching today's episode of Scandal. As always, I'm your host, Sierra Gillespie, and I'll see you next time.
And we're going to go into this here. This person here is named Titanium Belt. Let's get it.
Recording in a podcast studio or having my Grammy moments.
Hey guys, welcome in, welcome in. Oh, I don't have my sign on. I knew I was forgetting some things. Just sitting here without my candles and my sign on. You can't even see the candles, so not a big deal. But welcome in, everybody. How's everybody's Thursday going? Hopefully you're having a great Thursday. It is the 12th of February, a couple of days till Valentine's Day. Hopefully you got your Valentine a little something, something, or you asked them to be your Valentine. I see a lot of videos out there, people asking people to be their Valentine, and they're going all out. And I'm like, that's crazy. That's craziness. That's craziness. But that's not what you're here.
Oh, excuse me.
That's craziness. But that's not what you're here for. You're here for true crime. So you made it to the right spot. If you're new here, my name is Tanya or Titanium Built. This is the channel Titanium Built. Welcome in, and welcome into the rest of you guys that are always here with me. I'm so excited to see you guys. It's been a crazy long day. Oh, and if you hear the computer beside me going off, that's just a ghost. That's just a ghost over there. So, but welcome in. It's good to see everybody. Hopefully, Ladybug, you're feeling better. Hopefully you're feeling better. So I know you've been out a couple nights. I mean, that's not like you. That is not like you. And I need you to be healthy. Healthy, healthy, healthy. I need all of you guys to be. So we're going to talk about Nancy Guthrie. I feel like we're in a Nancy Guthrie bubble because she's an 84-year-old woman who is missing and we can't find her, right? And it's kind of like, how is somebody outsmarting? I can see how they're outsmarting Sheriff Nanos. I mean, I think everybody could probably outsmart him. Sorry to say, but the FBI though, it's a little different. Border Patrol, that's a little different. I don't know. This case just gets weirder and weirder. So today there was some developments, a few developments in this case, and then I thought we would watch. I went and got Fox Nation again. I think I took it off for 2 months and I went back because they do cover like a lot of the bigger cases and stuff, and they'll cover like them in depth. Like they've been covering this case like crazy. I didn't even realize it until today. They're doing a special every single day, like to go over all the evidence and stuff. So I thought it'd be really interesting to watch because it's not just Fox News. It's actually like a sister channel, I guess, to them. But the latest news that we have in as of right now is at 11:30 today, law enforcement set up a tent in front of the house, but then they removed it not too long later. But law enforcement, basically, they went to the house. They briefly erected this white privacy kind of tent outside of Nancy's home in front of her front door. And they were there for about 90 minutes. Audio forensic units and laser measuring equipment were seen entering with the forensics teams. So they were going in there to, in my opinion, probably maybe measure to see how tall maybe the suspect could be. They wanted privacy while they were doing it. And maybe they were looking at the blood evidence again. Maybe they were looking at where the camera was. They just didn't want everyone to be able to see it, you know? Kind of like when Idaho had their cleanup team come and they put up that big tent. They were there for like 40 minutes and then they were like, get out of there because we got a suspect now and all this stuff. So it was kind of like that. They just put it up and then they took it back down real quick. So somebody on X said that they're getting it right. They were putting up the tent and getting it ready for Nancy Grace. And I thought that was really hilarious because, you know, how she was at the Idaho case. So, hey, Hart, it has been a while. Welcome in. Yeah, and Naomi, oh my goodness, 27 months. You guys have all been here for so long. I love that. 27 months, thank you. That's over 2 years. I know you know how to count, but that's a long time. And you've been here before that, so you've been here a long time. I think you've been here probably since I started my channel almost. Thank you, Naomi. It's good to see you too. I don't know if I told you, but I like that picture of you. I like that leather jacket. You badass. So, that happened around 11:30. So before that, around 11:15, Savannah Guthrie, she shared. I can't play it because there's music behind it, but she shared a really heartfelt, like tribute kind of video. I don't want to say tribute because that sounds bad, but like just a throwback video, I guess you would say, like on Instagram, and it had like pictures of her mom and, you know, her and her brother and sister. And it just said, we will never give up on her, is what it said. So, are you sleeping already, Andreas? Hey. Just blowing bubbles. That's what it sounds like. I don't know if you can hear it in the microphone. It makes me laugh. But so her family is continuing to, you know, push and try to get her home. I mean, obviously they want her home. If I go on to X, like I went on there earlier and it's so political right now. It's like ungodly. So I'm like, I'm just stepping away from X. I'm just going to step away slowly. So if I'm not posting on there the next couple of days, that's probably why. But I'll repost some things. But I mean, I'm just like, wow. Like, I mean, people are allowed to have an opinion about who they want to see as president, right? I mean, that's opinions are like assholes. Everyone's got one, right? And if you can't be an adult and like have a, you know, difference of an opinion, count me out. Twitter is like the wild, wild west right now. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if Nancy is, but if she goes, that'd be lovely. I mean, have you seen the news
Just this tool alone is very helpful. The way that the calls are broken down inside of the actual AI coaching tool, it's incredible. Before this, I was just asking a couple of our loan officers what they use this stuff for. One of the things that's resounding is they'll just go in to the call, recap of the call, and they'll pull up all the data that was talked about. The interest rate, you have like your application information right there at your fingertips. And sometimes our loan officers, they're moving quick. They're trying to sell a deal.
And done some stuff. Some are wells. I mean, nothing like that. This is America's grandma or America's mom right now. And we're going to get her back. And we're Nancy Grace. That's what I think she's talking about. Me too, Lori. I hate them all. How about that? That's pretty funny. As long as people are getting the job done, you know, I don't know. Just, I'm fine with whatever. But we need to get her home, though. And I don't like it though when the president says, and I know he was on the spot. He gets on the spot. I feel like a reporter will ask him a question and he'll be like, and then he just says what I think they want to hear sometimes, you know, like that he wants to reassure them, like, yeah, they're going to have a suspect real soon because the FBI's involved, right? You would think. But no, that was like weeks ago that he said that. So, yeah, we're not there yet. I feel like we're close. I feel like they're close. What is it? I follow just breaking news, FBI updates on Nancy 3. I don't know if I have anything from the FBI. At Pima County. I just saw, the reward increased. I got it. It's new identifying details about the suspect 24 minutes ago. Got it. I'm on the Pima County X. I think I got it anyway. I think I got it though, Casey. Is it the book bag and stuff? Yeah, Mama ain't playing around. I think I got it. I was just happened to be on their website, so, and we're gonna go there after this. So we'll be there in just a moment. But earlier today, there were gloves, or maybe it was last night, gloves were, and items, I guess, of evidence were recovered. Authorities say they recovered multiple items of evidence, including gloves believed to be potentially connected to the case. Investigators are urging neighbors to share any video footage of unusual activity between late July and early February. I guess they're reminding people to do that because they should have already had people do that. And I'm hoping that they didn't just assume that there would be no cameras working because of how dark it is. That would be bad. But also TMZ received a new email from the person who allegedly knows the kidnapper. You know, the guy that wants the one Bitcoin. Yeah, we'll go through that too. But tonight we're gonna go over all the new details and all the new updates, get caught up with whatever we've kind of missed. So yeah, missing flyer really quick. We got a new one. Thanks, Colleen. Yeah, smash the like button, please. She even made little pretty things. Pretty emojis. Okay. So as you guys all know, it says 5'4" here, and then everywhere it says 5'5". So she's 5'4", 5'5". 150 pounds, blue hair, blue eyes, brown hair, white, of course. Her birthday, January 27th, 1942. She's 10 years older than my mom. So the FBI, they just increased this. It's $100,000 now. So keep that in mind. Somebody is going to talk for $100,000. Believe you me. Because even if they just get a percentage of that, that's still probably going to be more than the Bitcoin, maybe. If it's more than the Bitcoin, that guy that is supposedly he knows like who the kidnapper is. I don't know if he actually knows. I don't really believe the guy. I just don't believe anything at this point. But what he says is true. If he looks and sees $100,000, reward, he might be like, because if you see right here on this flyer, it says the FBI is offering a reward of up to $50,000. Now, if you ain't give me the full 50, If that guy really knows the person's name, tell him I want the $50,000 and I'll give you the name. He should just give the name. But we know people love money. So, unfortunately. But it just says that they're investigating the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie, last seen at her residence in the Catalina Foothills neighborhood of Tucson, Arizona on the evening of January 31st, 2026. She is considered to be a vulnerable adult who has difficulty walking, has a pacemaker, and needs daily medication for a heart condition. Now, I wonder how long she could go without that medication. Does anybody have AFib in here? I think that's what she has. The images above show an armed individual appearing to have tampered with the camera at Nancy Guthrie's front door the morning of her disappearance. The FBI seeks information that will lead to the identity of this individual. It's kind of blurry. If you have any information, call 1-800-CALL-FBI. Just call them up. And there's the pictures of Nancy, and then there's the pictures of the guy. Every time I look at him, it freaks me out. And I'm young. I'm younger. I'm half her age. And you're just in your bed sleeping. What's up with people bothering people when they're sleeping? You freaking cowards. I mean, really, you're cowards. You get them when they're asleep, when they're vulnerable. And she's an 84-year-old woman. Who are you? I mean, I want to know who this person is. I want to see who this person is. I can't wait. I can't wait. It's going to be one of those things where this is him. I'm mark my words. I do it every time. I'm like, this is him. So, where were we at on here? I want to go to this morning. Okay, so they closed the road, opened the road. Okay. So, 4 hours ago, again, just in case nobody knows, I don't know who is asking. I don't know who's calling the police department and asking for Sheriff Nanos to do an interview, or for anybody to do an interview. But stop. They're not going to do any interviews. They've already said it 50,000 times.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this off right here, cause from what I'm hearing, they basically telling us stuff we already know. I thank y'all for being here. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see y'all again soon. Peace.